In 1984, the Ghostbusters movie was released. There were no action figures, there were no vehicles, there were no playsets, there wasn't anything released for kids that I'm aware of. However, 2 years later, in 1986, the real Ghostbusters cartoon came onto the scene, and that we got toys for. Those Ghostbusters, while based on the movie characters, looked nothing like the movie characters. They were more colorful, more goofy, more cartoony. So it's with crazy excitement, 40 years later in 2024, we're finally getting some action figures, well, 1/18th scale action figures, that's my preferred scale, based off of the original Ghostbusters movie characters. And the first thing I'm going to point out is this box. This is a really cool box. If I turn it over here, it looks like a cassette tape. It's actually really cool. This packaging is kind of neat. We'll flip it around. It shows digital renders of the characters, lots of stuff. This is the plasma pack. And on the end, it even talks about being 40 years plasma pack, Ecto Max down here. So let's get this open. All I got to do is peel this open. I actually already cut the tape, and there they are. Let's bring them just a tad bit closer. We'll open it up. We'll get to them in a minute. And inside, I'm not going to read through this. You can pause it if you want to and read through all this. But this is actually kind of cool. It shows how the accessories are supposed to attach to these figures. It looks like this is mostly just a little blurb about commemorating the 40th anniversary. I like how they show the Ecto one and a firehouse. I do wonder, will we get the firehouse? Would they go further in? We got an Ecto one, and that's something we'll have to discuss just a little bit later. But I'm going to get these things open, and let's take a look at these actual O-ring 1/18th scale action figures. Here they are all geared up, and I've got to say, these are some of the most amazing things I have seen in my entire life. Am I a massively huge Ghostbuster fan? No, not really. Do I enjoy the movies? Yes, I do. Do I go out and buy action figures of them? No, I don't think I've ever actually bought a Ghostbuster action figure a day in my life. Why did I want these? Because they look so cool, and to support this because they are absolutely unexpected. I mean, who snuck into Hasbro, did some things on the computer, created some designs, ran out of there, and then Hasbro just blindly, aimlessly just made this stuff? Like, who at Hasbro decided in 2024, hey, let's make 1/18 scale, 3.75 inch O-ring Ghostbusters action figures? That's unheard of. That's like the craziest thing ever. Especially when it seems like Hasbro has passed off G.I. Joe to Super 7 to do O-ring figures. Like, why aren't they doing? Hasbro can do some amazing O-ring figures. I have one here just to prove it. But like, why did they pass this off to Super 7? Hasbro is doing some, dare I say, kick-ass O-ring figures. I want to see more. But anyway, let's jump in and actually look at these. So at first you might think that these are all the same. Well, they aren't. Look at the legs. Peter over here has pant legs that go all the way down. It resembles what he looks like in the movie, whereas the rest of them have their pant legs tucked into their boots. That's actually, from what I can tell, the primary difference between them all. Otherwise, they are all the same. They all come with a proton pack. They all come with their... Whoa, come on, Winston, we gotta get you standing up there. They all come with their Neutrona wand back here that will hang over here. And actually, real quick, the only colors on this proton pack are the 4 little dots right there. Otherwise, there's really nothing to it. Let's actually knock Ray over. So let's take a peek, a little bit closer look here at this pack. So as you can see, it's all black. And over on this side, there's like, it's all hollowed. And you know what? That's fine by me. This is kind of bendy. It's a little rubbery. It's not horrible. It's almost like a stiff rubber. It's not bad. It feels good. The wand will attach right there on the side. And in the package, the wand is actually separate from the pack. It slides in and out. There's a little groove right there. And this will just slide right in. And then you can twist this around and hook it right in there, so then it has a bit of a classic look to it, the way they hang on to it. And I'll show you this. They come with one single PKE meter, and I'm letting Egon here hang on to it. Check, while we're here, look at that. They got the little Ghostbuster. Look at this guy. Let's get some light over here. I don't have light over here. Let's just go ahead and take a closer look at these characters, these figures. look at Egon. This is really cool. This is so awesome. Got little, got their elbow pads. Little yellow, I'm not sure what this is, just a little wire or a strap coming down. You've got the green straps so they can hold on their proton pack. I'm kind of in awe while I'm looking at this. They feel good. They stretch. They bend all over the place. They have the new O-ring styling that Hasbro is putting into their new O-ring G.I. Joe figures. Yeah, these guys look good. Let's get Ray in here. All right, so here's Ray, and he also has some goggles, and I'll be honest, I don't remember what these things are called, but these are goggles that you can put on his head. They don't feel like they're going to rip or break. They're a little squishy on the strap there, but you can tuck them right on his head. I haven't actually tried pulling them all the way down. Oh, yeah. Whoa. So they go down on his face, but then the straps kind of try to go down below his head. So there we go. If we hook it about there, that looks good, but I don't mind it. There's a little piece that hooks and kind of snags on his hair a little bit, but that's a good looking, I think this is a good looking Ray. This is nice. Really there's not a whole lot to show you on each of these figures because they look so similar. Let's get Egon back up and bring in Peter now. So there's Peter. Oh, so good. These are so cool. And I let him hold on to the Ghost Trap. And the Ghost Trap probably has the most detailing of all of these. You can see what is this? It's like a caution paint right there. This side is painted silver with a couple red lines. This side is just painted silver. And there's like little tiny, not real working wheels, but just like little grooves, not grooves, outcroppings, something to indicate little wheels. And you could set that down. But so here's a little closer look at his legs or his feet. So it's pretty easy. You can pull out the wand just like so. And actually, I'll wait and I'll get to it. Let's take a look at Winston here. So stand there, man. Okay, so there's Winston. He's smiling away. He's so happy that after 40 years, they got an O-ring release. Sure, I mean, there was like 6-inch figures like a couple years ago that sold amazingly well from what I understand, right? I don't know. Anyway, so, well, okay, so the way I've got him positioned, he looks like he's kind of bending the wand there a little bit. And he probably is. So what's interesting is how they formed or created, look at this, how they made the hands. So I'm going to grab the G.I. Joe figure, stretch his arm out. So you can see, you see how Leatherneck's hand is, and then you see how Winston's hand is. So it's more kind of like down a little bit so they can actually hold on to their wands. So, like, they can stretch it over. It's designed that way to where they actually hold it better. This is a little bit bendy, so you got to get their hands in just the right position. Kind of like that. So, because of that, and I didn't actually grab a G.I. Joe weapon, it might look a little funny if you decide, hey, let's put like a G.I. Joe weapon in their hand and see what happens. You might have to end up doing something like this, kind of holding it like that. It's going to look a little weird and funky. So, I like these. These guys are actually really awesome. I'm going to toss these accessories off to the side now. So, let's do a quick height comparison with Winston standing by. We're going to tuck these guys off to the back, get them out of focus just a little bit. So there is Winston standing tall and proud, and like I said, he is smiling. He is so happy. We got Leatherneck here. He comes with the Transformers crossover Triple T cup. And there we go. Actually, let's get Winston just a little bit more centered, right about there. So here is Winston. There's Leatherneck. And I even brought in a surprise guest, a Super 7 comic-based bat. So it's kind of interesting. Winston seems to be just a little bit shorter than these figures. Let's grab Egon. He's got probably more hair, taller hair than Ray does. Let's get him. I like the glasses on him too. You can't see, it's all blurry. But there's Egon right there, and he even looks just like. I mean, he's really pretty good. He's almost eye to eye with Leatherneck. Wow, I've been doing a lot of stuff today. But I think these guys match in really well. Okay, I can't help it. Let's keep bringing them in. Let's keep bringing these guys in. Put Peter over here. Let's get him standing straight. So, yeah, he looks like he's about the same height as Winston. But I think these guys they work so well together. This is O-Ring happiness right here. I'm just shocked that... I'm just really surprised that Hasbro did this. Like, where did this come from? Poor Peter, Ray back here, all by himself. We got Peter up here. Did I call this guy Ray? Did I accidentally do that? No, this is Peter. Real quick, I did want to see. I'm just going to set these guys off to the side. I was curious, would the backpacks fit in the G.I. Joe figure? Oh, they won't actually fit on a G.I. Joe figure. It's just a little bit too big. So, since we know Super 7 makes holes that are just a little bit too big, it's really loose, actually. Wouldn't that be cool if we could, like, cross-use these things? Let's get the bat here. That's all we need, right? A bat with a wand and a proton pack. He actually, if you kind of stuffed it in there, it actually kind of holds it pretty good. It doesn't really hold in the position, like if you're going to try and get them to hold position here, like they're trying to shoot. Doesn't quite work out, but anyway. So, one thing I'm going to point out about these Ghostbuster figures is that the necks are side to side. They are not up and down at all. They don't go up and down. They just go side to side. He has something here on his... What is that? Let's take a quick... Let's bring him in close to the camera. What is this junk on him? Huh. Let's see, can I scrape it off? Looks like a little paint something or other. Well, that's disappointing. Guess I'll have to get a magnifying glass. I'm using the camera as a magnifying glass at the moment. But anyway, yeah, so side to side, which is disappointing because, and I don't know why. I don't know if they're trying to recreate 1984 O-Ring G.I. Joe styling, because if they are, well, then what's going on with Leatherneck over here? Because he has a ball joint neck that allows up and down, and even like up, over, down, like it's just a ball joint. It's not even like the styling of the mid-80s G.I. Joe figures. It's really awesome. They could have just done one of those in there and called it a day and said it's really good. Arms rotate all the way around, goes up, hinge and rotation at the elbow, nothing at the wrist. O-ring waist goodness. If you want him to sit, look at that. If you want him to do the splits, that's a bit of a more of a stretch. These jumpsuits, they don't stretch like they used to. 90 degrees at the knee, and that's about it. And yeah, these are cool. I like these so much. So a while back, we got an Ecto 1, because these figures, I'm actually surprised we got an Ecto 1 so early. I think they were specifically designed for these figures. Let's get some stuff out of the way here. And so I was a bit disappointed because every kind of figure I put in this Ecto 1, I couldn't get the figures in. So here is the lovely Ecto 1. It's just a little bit larger than what my camera can really show you. But the big thing is, can it fit? Let me rephrase that. Can the O-ring fit in this vehicle? So let's focus in over here on the car, and it looks like, gonna try and slide this figure in. Okay, look at that. So we can get him. That was pretty easy. We can slide him right in. He's gonna slide back and forth though. So whoever's driving, I can't remember who typically drove in the movie. If there was like a specific driver, you could actually probably get 3 guys in there if you really wanted to. So let's say, I don't know, Winston's all ready. He doesn't have any gear on like the other guys. So there is a steering wheel right there. So I don't know if there'll be any real problem trying to get him around that steering wheel. I'm not even sure if the arms, because of how they're designed, will even let the figure. Yes. Slide him in here. So it looks like he's getting kind of caught by that steering wheel just a little bit. And the head. Oh, there. There we go. The steering wheel's going to hold him. Look, he is still so happy. He's happy to be in his car. So it looks like the steering wheel, well, for one thing, is going to help hold him in. But he does fit. And I was trying all sorts of 1/18 scale modern figures and absolutely none. I was really disappointed. I was really kind of hoping that... Check that out. That's cool. I was kind of hoping that I could get some other figures in there. I do wonder, if we scoot him over, could we get a third guy in? Let's go with Egon. 3's a company. 2's a company. 3's a crowd. I know that they probably didn't do this in the movie. I don't remember. I'm sure they never did, but there you go. You got 3 of them right there in the front seat. Okay, so that was fun and games. Let's get over. Let's get him out. Now, where are you going to put 4 guys in a big vehicle like this? I mean, whoa. Dude, Peter, get in there. Stay in there. We need to lock that door. So there is some doors back here. If I can get my fingernail in there. There we go. There's not doors, there's door. So one thing that concerned me, I don't know how well you can see in here. Let me grab my light. There we go. Make sure you can really see in there. There's a seat right there. And, get it aimed right, there's a seat right there. And I've always been concerned since I got this thing, there's hardly any distance between the floor and the seat. So, this is kind of like how they're going to be. I'll get the light back now, though it's not over blasting it, but... So, if I go and I put this guy in here... That's about where he's gonna be. You can see, yeah, it's not great. You can kind of bend him over, and there we go. Now he's in the seat. Doesn't that look comfortable? Come on, Hasbro. I mean, you did this a huge deal. You did this a hugely happy thing, but that, I mean, look at that. There's like some room under the car. They could have actually maybe lowered the floor just a little bit, maybe hollowed out like a little box that the feet could sit down in. But beyond that, if you can see very well, which it's kind of difficult, his feet are like right up against the other seat. So if we want to get, let's say Ray, let's get his gear off. Let's get him all seated position. If you want to get him in there, well, it's just not going to work very well. Especially if you want to display this thing, it's really not. I heard, and I don't know for sure exactly the details, but I heard that this was actually is it retrofitted or a redone version of their other kids series they did a while ago. Like they retooled this or redid a few things here or there, but generally it's the same as the other one. So, I mean, when you retool something like this or rework something like this, it's definitely not going to be perfect, but you know what? If you're going to the trouble of making brand new O-ring figures, why not just make a really truly O-ring based Ecto-1? That's what I would have to say. So out of the back of the Ecto-1, we've got a door. Yeah, there's a door. And this is up on its side because apparently they have been driving crazy. But here is, let's scoot this over here, a stretcher. And this is pretty cool. It pops up like so. And there you go. We've now got the stretcher. And if you're familiar with the movies, you know what this means. That means... Oh no, they crossed the streams! It's bad as paper clips there. Let's hook this back up. So, these packs will hook... Let's see, how exactly do they hook? Do they hook a specific way? I'm not quite sure. It's the first time I've tried this, so do they actually hook or do they just sit? They might just sit in there because I don't see how it would actually snap into place. So they might just sit. And I might be trying to make something more difficult than it should be. I'm actually doing this. I mean, maybe they do kind of hook. Got another one here. Another one bites dust. I think this is how this is working. It looks good to me. It's what I'm doing, right? I could be kind of way off base, but I think. Oh yeah. There's actually a little notch down there now that I see it. Okay, yeah, they do hook that way. That way they can let's see. Let's maneuver this thing so they can roll the okay, you're going to have to tuck their cords, tuck their hoses down in there. And they're all going to fall apart, but guess what? They're in. Wait, why aren't they going in? Did we run into Egon? Is he in the way? Hunchback Egon. Man, I gotta get him out of here. He's gonna have a bad back. So it's snagging on... Oh, it's snagging on the back chair. So, I mean, that looks like, some of our bedrooms in 1984, right? Hey, shut the door, right? There we go. They're in. There we go. They're in. And you know what? Just for fun, there's an antenna. We can just slide this thing on and they can take the goggles with them. And yeah, so I'm not 100% pleased with the Ecto 1. I don't know. Let's stand Egon here next to it. I'm trying to think about if I've ever stood next to a car like this. I haven't. I almost kind of think that he might be a little undersized standing next to it, which is kind of funny because, if he's any bigger, he's definitely not fitting back there. So I think it works, but you're definitely not going to be able to get all four of these guys in the back. There's a ladder. You could actually, have him hook his arm around a ladder, like so. Go. Yo. Or yo. Anyway, so Ghostbusters 3.75 inch 1/18 scale O-ring action figures. I'm not going to pull those guys out from the car, but this is just awesome. These are amazing. Why did it take 40 years to put these out? I don't know. I wasn't allowed to see the movies till the late 80s, so maybe that's why. Maybe they just didn't deem or think of the movie as kid-friendly. But then again, we got Police Academy figures. We got RoboCop figures. Didn't we even get Predator figures? I can't quite remember. Maybe Terminator figures. But yet, those Ghostbusters, those are sketchy. Those might be a little bit too much for kids. But I'll tell you this, if anyone from Hasbro is actually watching, I doubt they are, but I will say this. Please do not make us wait 5 years to get the 40th anniversary edition of the Ghostbusters 2 Ghostbusters. How about we make this a yearly thing? Let's get some gray-suited figures out like next year. How about Janine? How about Tully? Let's see, where's some ghosts? Let's get us some ghosts. Let's make this a thing, Hasbro. I'm in for this. I'd be buying all this stuff from you. I love this stuff. These things are so freaking cool. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head. But, let's get some of the ghosts, some of the bad guys, some of the other good guys. Anyway, thank you for stopping by and watching. I'll catch you next time.